Hey guys, Portia here, and today I am working on a big order of sublimation tumblers, 100 to be exact. That's a lot, y'all. And I just want to share with you all how I stay sane and on track so that I can produce the best product possible. Now, mind you, the majority of the things I'm going to share with you today are born out of my mistakes, my trial and my error. And when you are working on a large order, the last thing you want is a whole bunch of obstacles, because that can be very discouraging, especially when you have a small business and you are working out of your home and you may not have a lot of space and just a lot of things that can come up. Well, anyway, if you plan ahead to be as efficient as possible, then you will get a good result. Let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, guys, so my journey is starting here in Canva. So the design that I am using today is a gym shoe, and each gym shoe has been personalized with a name. Now, make sure you know and understand the capacity of the tools that you are working with. So I chose to print in batches of 25. But in doing that, I wanted to ensure that I had the same settings each time, and I did not want to have to go in and change the settings. So in Canva, when I go to share and I go to download, I have my print settings saved, or rather my, let's call it the image settings saved, so that I don't have to go in each time and change it. So I have PDF print, and then I have CMYK, and I just like that for when I'm printing my tumbler wraps. And it's going to print all 25 for me. And I went on ahead and had these preferences saved so that each time I go in, I don't have to change it. There have been times when I went to print a design and I forgot to do this or I forgot to do that. And, you know, it messes with everything, guys. So make sure you don't forget to save your settings. It helps you to stay efficient. The other thing is the size of the design. Now, I forget which size this is. Okay, here it is. So the width of this design is 9.3, and it is by 8.1. This works perfectly for the tumblers that I have purchased. Make sure to measure your tumblers just in case something has changed. I don't know, but make sure you do a test print first before you go all willy-nilly printing out 100 prints. So once I got that all together and I am able to print, the next place I would move on to is the print itself. So here is the 25. And what we are going to do is just go to our printer. And this is going to print from my Epson Echo Tank. And if we go to more settings, just make sure your settings are what they should be, guys. I have had this problem so many times. Why isn't it printing right? Oh my God, what's wrong? We don't want that. We don't need this headache with a big job. So I have actual size. And I always like to go to my system dialog. My orientation is going to be landscape. And I go to more settings. So in my more settings, I have landscape borderless. So the reason I like to print in borderless is because it gives me less paper to cut. And I'll show you that in a little bit when we actually move on to the actual tumblers themselves. And then I like to go to print job preview. And I like to mirror my image. So if you don't have these settings saved, the default is like high speed. So you definitely want to take that off. You don't want that. And if we go back over to the main side, I have premium presentation paper matte, high quality, 8.5 by 11 inches. So this is what I'm printing every job in. And so just want to make sure your settings are as you like them to be. So that's another thing you don't have to keep going in there and checking on or changing. So that's what I printed in. And the last thing that I want to share with you as far as system-wise, computer-wise, is my settings for the actual computer itself. So I went in here and I changed it to never. So normally I have my screens time out after like 20 minutes. But in this case, I did not want it to time out because sometimes in the past when I'm printing a big job, my system may time out and then it may stop in the middle of a print. And I will show you an example of that, which I had to stop and reprint something. Well, not necessarily stop, but I discovered I had to reprint one of these prints because my printer did go to sleep, or the computer went to sleep in the middle of actually printing. So I went on ahead in here and I changed it to never. So while I'm doing this big job, the computer does not go to sleep, and it is communicating perfectly fine with the actual printer itself. The other thing is to check is your connection. Sometimes your internet connection is off. It can cause errors with you printing. So I just wanted to make sure that all of these things were okay with my went on ahead and did anything when it comes to the prints. All right, guys, so everything is actually already printed out. What I am going to do is move outside of my craft room and go into my kitchen area where I have a large countertop, which is where I'm going to be working from because I want to have space and not feel claustrophobic. So let's move on to the next area. So here are our tumblers. We have 50 in each box, and actually, guys, it's going to be a total of 106 tumblers. But I mean, like, once you get to 100, I mean, who's even counting anymore? I'm gonna go ahead and pull them all out and put them on the counter. Here we are, all unpacked, unboxed, all that good stuff. And you see, like I said, I moved out here because I have way more counter space, and this was gonna be much more comfortable. Pretty much have everything that I'll need out here to go ahead and get started. So I kind of set myself up like assembly line style. So, you know, once the tumblers are done, I'll let them cool, and then we can come over here and then, you know, put our top on, put the bottoms on, and you know, make sure that each tumbler has a straw. And let me go back over here. So remember earlier I was telling you guys about the never go to sleep. At some point this print paused and picked back up again. Well, if I put the system on never go to sleep, I can totally avoid this. And remember I said I like to print with the bleed because it's less cutting. So what that equates to is you don't have to cut the top, you don't have to cut the one side. All you have to do is cut the very bottom, and that works out for me. And then as you can see, here go all of our prints. Guys, this is like a book. It's like, oh my God. So yeah, and as you saw, I got 2 presses going. I had actually thought about wrapping every single tumbler first and then coming back and pressing them, but I'm ready to get started. So I decided I'm just gonna sit down, get comfortable, maybe listen to my audiobook or turn something on the TV to binge watch, and just go ahead and do 2 at a time so I can, you know, see some progress, get some work in. So yeah, let's go ahead and get the wrapping and pressing. As we are making progress, i.e. every single last 100 and some odd tumblers have been sublimated. Yay! So next up, all I gotta do is get them, you know, prepared to package up. Alrighty guys, I have added tops to each one of our tumblers, and then the little rubber foot on the bottom to protect it from getting all scratched up. And I have actually paired each tumbler with its counterpart And the reason why I made all of these tumblers is that we are having a sneaker ball. So it's going to be a pretty, nice event. And we are going to go ahead and give away as like a party favor these sneaker tumblers. And they're going to be in a box that we have labeled like Nike. So that should actually be really cool. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. I just want to share with you all how I get through processing large orders. If you have any tips or tricks that you would like to share, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions or concerns or emotional outbursts, let me know. And guys, remember, stay colorful, stay creative, and always find joy in the little things you do. Until next time, peace.